Live from Keniak Park Ice Arena in Hicksville, New York, we welcome you to this special presentation of the Catholic Varsity High School Hockey League playoffs on LI Sports Network. Old-time rivals meet again in the postseason as the St. Anthony's Friars take on the top-seeded Chaminade Flyers. Michael Andrew here, ready to bring you the action alongside all of us here, the production crew, at this very beautiful facility. And the St. Anthony's Friars have made their way onto the ice for warm-ups, and soon you'll see the Flyers getting their reps in as well. St. Anthony's coming off an historic season in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League, winning their first championship in over a decade. But how will they fare out in a different atmosphere, as neither of these teams' records will be paramount in this contest? Everything is all reset to zero. There is no such thing as retribution or payback or anything, as both of these teams, despite Chaminade winning the season series 3-1, that will not be on their minds for today. It's a whole different ball game, or I should say hockey game, with a lot of stakes on the line, and a trip to the finals, which will take place on Monday night at Dix Hills. But for now, enjoy the rest of the warm-ups, and I'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, when the puck drops.
Also another nice shot.
St. Anthony's Friars finished off the 2021-2022 Suffolk County season campaign with a record of 16-0-3 en route to the county title, while the Chaminade Flyers enter the playoffs as the number 1 seed, 12-3, but the record's reset as the first period has begun with a shot right into the body of the starting netminder for the Flyers today, Patrick Conway. And on the other end, in between the pipes for the Friars, is the Suffolk County High School Hockey League Playoffs MVP, Ryan Burhart, as Chaminade finds themselves on the back end. And they'll push out. And driving in, Ryan Weisler along the half wall. PAL Junior Islander product as this one is flipped out of the zone. Trying to cover some ground right there and handle it carefully was Murray. Pardon me, that was Lucas Lee, another PAL Junior Islander product. As this one is better, the cross couldn't be handled well by the Friars player that was trying to get the feed as Chaminade gains the zone again. This one couldn't be led ahead to Squarey, and St. Anthony's comes up with the possession. Monteleone loses an edge right there as he tried to create some separation. One player got sent into the bench, and that was Connor Squarey, going head over heels in the St. Anthony's Friars bench. And so the temperature of this contest begins with it being very feisty already with that hit as St. Anthony's pushed the other way. Thomas Colavecchio sending that chance just wide. Chaminade. John Trum gets the return feed. He's got Federico on the half wall who tried to stuff it forward, but it's St. Anthony's who works their way back in the zone as this one's flipped back in. But it's Chaminade who controls it. A nice pirouette maneuver right there to create some separation by Ryan Urcioli. Urcioli getting it back. And this time he got knocked down to the ice right there on that hit. Conway plays this one aside. Chaminade trying to exit out safely. Here comes Federico. Federico chipping this one along the half wall to himself. Gets a chance on net, and that one was stopped off the body of Burhart, and it goes out of play. So Chaminade Flyers getting their first taste of a scoring opportunity against the heroic Friars netminder. There you see second team All-Star, PAL Junior Islanders product, Christopher Guglielmo on the ice in his contemporary position, which switches defense. This one is flipped out. Guglielmo right there, waiting for the feed if it comes to him. At the moment, Lee plays this into the corner boards. Chaminade getting taken to task heavily right there. St. Anthony's will slam it back in as Chaminade couldn't progress forward. Brian Weisler back on the ice as Lucas Lee sends this one into the corner boards. Trying to chase that one down is Daniel Barnes. Barnes able to get a hold of the feed with the chance, but he chipped it wide. A good effort right there by number 18 for the Flyers as Lucas Lee couldn't advance that ahead, and St. Anthony's gets a line change out of that little flip-in play. Monteleone for the Friars, but here come the Flyers, tossing it back in to the glove hand of Ryan Burhart, who covers up. Second team All-Star Patrick Mavrakis takes the draw in the left dot for the Flyers. This one is sent wide of the cage. Pinching in there to get a hold of it or trying to make a play was Idavai. And Idavai will have to race down and recollect it for the Flyers. Flyers with the Friars hot on their tail. Connor Squarey on the right wing, awaiting for the feed as Michael Calabrese sends that one over in the corner, and then this one is pushed back in the middle and carried in further by Mavrakis. Mavrakis taking this one around the boards and back to the point. Mavrakis still with it on his stick. Now he flips it almost cleanly on the stick of Urcioli, and it has to be regathered again by Jake Trum. Trum gets the return feed. Couldn't sauce that one cleanly on the stick of Federico as St. Anthony's gains a hold of the possession once more. But it's relinquished back into the Flyers' hands, who gain the zone once more. Chaminade trying to create some magic down low. James Hedquist looked like he was going to go for the lacrosse maneuver, and that chance almost trickled off the body and carrying back in front. Chaminade remaining in tights, trying to get one in the back of the net here in the first period. Hedquist, centering chance, almost touched home right there by Landolfi as this one cascades into the mesh, and we'll have another draw. Colin Umhofer making his way to the ice, taking the draw against the captain for the Friars, Jack DeLugos, as St. Anthony's tries to muscle out of the zone without any damage, and this one is flipped out, and racing back to recollect it once more for the Flyers is Guglielmo, and one of the Friars took a spill trying to get a hold of the puck as Chaminade races back in. Connor Constable. Now Patrick Rowan is able to chip it out, but it's handled on the stick of Lee, who then sends it ahead to that man Weisler, and Brian Weisler is able to get it across, score! Flyers strike first in the semifinals. A marvelous setup by Brian Weisler as Connor Constable punches it home to give his team the 1-0 edge here in the opening period. Chaminade, hungry for more. Guglielmo at the top, stopped right there by Berhart. St. Anthony's looking to counteract. Smith had trouble getting the shot off as that one got canceled out on the stick in front. And now we have a conference brewing along the half wall with St. Anthony's attempting to keep it in the zone, which they do. And Chaminade will get a hold of the possession before tossing it up ahead. Weisler trying to create more carnage for the Flyers against the Friars. Squarey driving hard down the wing, trying to stuff it home, and he was stopped that time by Berhart. Squarey positioned in the left corner, and that one almost got deflected home. With Marakis in front of the net, and now we're getting our first penalty of the contest on that awful hit right there thrown by the Flyers player, which was Quinn Murray. So St. Anthony's will activate the power play units here in the first period on the infraction by Murray. And the Friars player who was on the receiving end of that hit in the corner is okay. Brady Monteleone, Jack DeLugos, Nicholas DeAndrea man the offense, while Dylan Smith and Patrick Rowan protect the points, as this one was sent wildly wide by Monteleone. Chaminade able to spring this one out for the first clear of this power play opportunity for St. Anthony's. Rowan again is able to knife it across to the captain, DeLugos. And then back to Monteleone. Monteleone with the chance, fend it off, rebound! A big stop made that time by Patrick Conway. And the play is stopped on the other end with Berhart covering up, but here's another look at the Friars' big chance on the first man advantage for today, and it's Patrick Conway who comes up big for Chaminade with that stretch kick save against first team All-Star Nicholas DeAndrea, as Rowan is able to get it onto stick of DeAndrea, who then floats it across. Long distance heave was stopped off the pad of Conway. Chaminade able to come up with another clear. 50 seconds remaining on the Chaminade penalty kill as St. Anthony's continues to have some difficulty striking here on the man advantage. Rowan. Now it's Thomas Colavecchio. Long Island Royals product dumps this one around the boards. Chaminade trying to push this out of harm's way, and here's a drive from the point, and a radar Rex off the paddle of Conway's stick and out of play, so more great goaltending being provided by Patrick Conway for the Flyers. And there will be 15 seconds left on the power play for St. Anthony's. This one is wrapped around the boards, and it goes for another clear. And Chaminade is looking to activate the special teams units as their penalty kill expires, or they've successfully killed off the penalty. St. Anthony's power play expires, and we're 5-on-5 once again as this gets chipped out of play. And right on cue, Brian Weisler makes his way back out onto the ice after collecting the assist. Tie up on the draw, and a quick chance wouldn't go right there for Chaminade. Weisler couldn't get the centering feed to go. St. Anthony's playing it dangerously down low as they're trying to clear it out. Another try. That one wouldn't go for Chaminade. Weisler muscled into the boards right there. As St. Anthony's, Gavin Cotta tries to corral it on his stick, and Brian Weisler sent that off the post. Almost making it 2-0. DeLugos got shouldered off right there, but St. Anthony's continues to go forward. Gavin Cotta tried to lay it in front. DeLugos with another chance, centering try, and that time it was denied. Rebound bouncing in the air. It was settled down, but it couldn't be put home by DeAndrea. And a close call once again for Conway. Results in Chaminade bringing out, or getting some new fresh legs on the ice as they try to enter the second period with the lead as St. Anthony's tosses this one back the other way. Chaminade resetting. Sent all the way down into the corner boards. It won't go for icing. Both number 21s converging down low, and the turnaround try wouldn't go right there for Squarey. And we'll get another draw as the puck goes out of play. 3.5 to go in the first period. And actually, we're getting a penalty from that last sequence with Dylan Smith going to the penalty box, and Chaminade will get a chance to strike on the power play for their first time today. St. Anthony's trying to dig it out of harm's way. Olamia lost it right there to the Flyers as this one got bounced off the glass, but it remains in play. Chance from the top. That one was negated by Berhardt. Landolfi plays this one back. Calabrese. Again, laid across, but it couldn't be put home by Hedquist. Hedquist sends it back. And go another chance. Just slipped off the stick and was redirected wide. Turnaround try couldn't be punched home right there as Weisler gets another opportunity. Weisler sending that chance wide as well. St. Anthony's able to get the clear and get some new reinforcements on top of that for this penalty kill. As Calabrese drops it onto the stick of Idavai. Jack DeLugos. Shorthanded try, and it's covered up by Conway. Urcioli able to flip that one ahead, and Chaminade will take off back in the zone. This one couldn't be led across to Squarey as one of the Flyers got taken to task down low. Urcioli got it to his man, and that chance rang off the post again for the Flyers. Another try, and almost a mad scramble breaking out in front of the crease as St. Anthony's gets the clear, and just in time as we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Two Flyers players colliding inadvertently into each other. As Chaminade remains put inside the Friars zone. Mavrakis stopped, rebound, score! Jumping for joy, Patrick Mavrakis, as the Flyers have made it 2-0. The second team All-Star gets on the board for Chaminade. And he was obviously jubilated after scoring the goal. Final 50 seconds have been reached. St. Anthony's getting physical down low as they try to get on the scoreboard before the buzzer sounds here in the first. Meanwhile, Chaminade is able to bounce this one out of the zone, and it'll be chased down further by Wasserman. Chaminade trying to get another one, score! 3-0, Justin Wasserman. The Flyers have a 3-goal stranglehold over St. Anthony's here in the late moments of the first period. And that chance almost got by Conway that time off the stick of Kata. Turnaround try by DeAndrea misfired as Kata tries to get a hold of it a second time to no avail. And here comes the Flyers. Just missing at the buzzer, Brian Weisler, as we head to the second period with Chaminade on top, 3-0. Coach Ed Smith getting his troops geared up for these next 15 minutes of play. As Chaminade so far has scored 3 unanswered goals, and it kick-started with Brian Weisler setting up Connor Constable for a beauty. Scramble on the draw as this one is juggled in the air and then knocked down, where it's handled on the stick of Calabrese. Calabrese will toss this forward, and Chaminade gets another chance, but it's stopped that time by Berhardt on Murray. Idevai couldn't get that one to go, and maybe a chance breaking out here for Nicholas DeAndrea of St. Anthony's, and he is stopped that time by Patrick Conway. But the Friars remain in the zone. Another chance fended off by Conway. Chaminade able to push out of harm's way and get back into familiar territory. Squarey on the hunt. He gets there first. He'll send it down low. Hedquist winds with a drive, and that one was denied by Berhart. Urcioli. At the point, chance on net, but that one was blocked in front. Chaminade keeps it in the zone. St. Anthony's trying to track it down. And here's another chance that misfires for Chaminade as Urcioli can't connect a second time. Landolfi, another try, Urcioli, and another block was made by the Friars. St. Anthony's trying to jump on it as they trail by 3. Hedquist got tripped up heading towards the goal, but this will result in an icing and not a penalty. Chaminade driving in there again, but couldn't get the opportunity to go that time as St. Anthony's is able to get back into the Flyer zone. Monteleone squeezed up against the boards, and the chance by Colavecchio gets nullified off the block right there by Chaminade. Taking off with speed, Hedquist. But he loses a handle there. That was Lucas Lee, wearing number 27, as here's Brady Monteleone trying to steam past the defense. Now Dylan Cochran got put down to the ice as Brady Monteleone storms in with a check. Monteleone still muscled up against the boards. Chaminade able to break free and head back into the Friars zone. That chance wouldn't go right there that time for Constable. Chaminade remains put, almost banking that one past Berhart. Mavrakis couldn't get one to go on the backhand as St. Anthony's pushes out Thomas Colavecchio. Lost the footing while trying to get past the defense, and we'll have another draw. Dominic Castiglione tries to wrap this one off the end boards, and that one almost inadvertently carried back out in front. This one couldn't be touched forward by Chaminade. And St. Anthony's will attempt to regroup cleanly. Castiglione couldn't feather that one out. Idavai got spun around. Mavrakis couldn't get a hold of it. Here's Quinn Murray down low. Couldn't get that one to go perfectly on the stick of Idavai, and Calabrese will have to track it down, but they can't get it out. Hard hit thrown right there by Dylan Smith against Idavai. One of the Flyers falls to the ice as Chaminade gains the zone. St. Anthony's gets a hold of the possession. Carbone wrists this one off the post as DeLugos tries to pounce on the loose bouncing puck, but it's Chaminade who was able to push back into the Friars zone. Oamia tried to play this one away from Chaminade, but it's the Flyers who have the Friars where they want them. It's a corner battle now between both teams as everyone is trying to dig it free. And St. Anthony's is the one who comes out of the little scrum by flipping it back in towards the goal, and that one almost could have ended ugly right there for Conway. And St. Anthony's is able to flip this one back into the Flyers zone once again. Gavin Cotta trying to gain a hold of the possession. That one couldn't be cleared out, and it results in DeAndrea misfiring, but not by much. Dylan Cochran, Long Island Royals product. Relinquished it back into the hands of the Flyers. And offsides is called, which will stop play. So far, it's been quiet through 5 minutes of play here in the second period, with neither team scoring. As Chaminade controls it inside the Friars zone. And one pinballed off a skate, it bounces in front, score! No, it's waved off. False alarm. And instead of a goal, we'll have a face-off draw all the way back in the Chaminade Flyers zone. The indication was a high stick. And so it's a goal for the Friars! Brady Monteleone and Nicholas DeAndrea were parked out in front as the release came from the point by Thomas Colavecchio to put the Friars on the board after trailing 3-0 in the first. Chaminade trying to bounce back here after the events that changed in the matter of seconds. They almost put home a fourth right there. And what seemed like it was going to be 4-0 has resulted in it becoming 3-1. This one is flipped way out of the zone back into the neutral territory, but St. Anthony's gains a hold of the puck. This one is floated ahead, but it couldn't be reached onto the stick of DeLugos. Now DeLugos comes up with the puck. DeLugos back in the zone with a chance, and that one was fought off by Conway, who pounces on it to make the stop. Face-off draw won by the Friars this time. St. Anthony's trying to set up another goal here. Would cut the lead in half, putting the pressure on the Flyers as Chaminade goes off sides. One player loses their stick, and it was Jack DeLugos who retrieves the lost item. St. Anthony's firing back in. DeLugos trying to race down and get it as one of the Flyers took a spill near the crease. That was Nicholas DeAndrea. Meanwhile, Chaminade firing back in. But going wide on that try was Squarey. As St. Anthony's gains the zone once again. DeAndrea gets a return feed back from Cata. DeAndrea delaying. DeAndrea couldn't center that one perfectly to DeLugos. Almost getting that one to go, but it's Chaminade who sauces this one off the pads of Berhart's, and they'll go for a line change while St. Anthony's attempts to reset cleanly. This one missed the high-rising glove hand of Conway as Chaminade will try to regroup carefully. St. Anthony's couldn't throw that one back in. Patrick Rowan in the Chaminade zone, sending that chance wide. Kept alive at the point by Lamia. They had trouble getting a hold of it with the tie-up, and there will be a delay penalty against the Friars, which will lead to another Chaminade power play. So just when it seemed that the Friars were going to run away with this newfound momentum, they find themselves on the penalty kill for the second time today. And it's Nicholas Lamia who is sent to the box. Just about 6 minutes to go here in the second. 3-1 the score. Calabrese and the Flyers playing catch to kick off the power play. This latest one of the contest. Flyers now resetting after the first clear was made by the Friars. St. Anthony's able to pounce on it. Brady Monteleone almost trickling past Conway after Conway made the stop. Now it's the Flyers who find their way back in the zone. Chaminade looking to create some magic. Weisler. Curl and drag. Weisler. Score! The late man in the picture, James Hedquist, capitalizes on the man advantage, and it's 4-1. Chaminade remains in the driver's seat. Back up again by 3. On the goal by the first team All-Star, James Hedquist. A roof job from the left side as this one gets cleared back into the Friars zone for icing. Lugos tied up on the draw. He was knocked down, or that was DeAndrea, pardon me, who's shaken up and back up on his feet slowly. At the moment, he stays on the ice as St. Anthony's tries to reset cleanly. DeLugos. DeAndrea trying to twist away from the pressure, and he'll flip this one back in the zone while taking another spill heading towards Chaminade's territory. But the Flyers pick up steam and they'll attempt to push the other way, where they've been for most of this contest for good reasons. St. Anthony's. Patrick Rowan Drops it to Cotta. Gavin Cotta, or pardon me, Joseph Lentini, number 19. He'll get the feedback. Lentini lost it right there to that man, number 8. Wasserman has a man driving to the goal. Wasserman misfiring on that try. Looking for a pair of goals. Chaminade not giving up. Wasserman couldn't break free that time. And I guess he didn't like the shove from Patrick Rowan after the whistle, and there'll be nothing more after that. 3.5 to go here in the second. Hard hit thrown right there by Thomas Colavecchio against Mercioli. Stops play. And unfortunately for Colavecchio, he got too aggressive and St. Anthony's finds themselves back on the penalty kill. So the third power play opportunity will begin momentarily for Chaminade, their second this period. They'll look to make it back-to-back successful power plays. So far, they've gone 1 for 2 tonight, trying to make it 2 for 3 if this one succeeds. There's Hedquist getting it to Weisler, who throws it across to Constable. Constable back to Calabrese, and then back to Constable. Constable backing low, and Weisler couldn't punch it home. Weisler observing, feeds it across, but it couldn't be handled well off the stick of Constable, who regains control of it. Constable another chance, and that try misfired. Weisler couldn't toss that one back into the slot, and it results in a clear for St. Anthony's. Friars going for a line change as James Hedquist, then Chaminade finds the zone. Hedquist scores! The on-rushing Hedquist picks up his second goal of the contest, and most importantly, his second goal on the power play. So the Flyers succeed. They go 2 for 3 on the man advantage in this contest as they lead 5-1. One player down on the ice for St. Anthony's in the neutral zone. Now he gets back up onto his feet and returns into the pincher, looking to take some retribution out on the Flyers, it seems like. And that was Carbone. Carbone trying to lay it across to no avail. Patrick Rowan. Now Dylan Smith with it on his stick. Smith taking this one wide of Mavrakis. Now he has to deal with Guglielmo, and Dylan Smith gets tangled up down low with Mavrakis. Patrick Rowan recollecting it as Chaminade resets the lines, and it's chased down by the Friars. Monteleone, who tries to shake off his opponents, runs into one of the Flyers against the wall. Centering chance, and a big stop made that time by Conway to keep the Friars at bay. Another try by Castiglione didn't reach the goal as Chaminade tries to pick up the pace in these last 50 seconds of the second. St. Anthony's going the other way. Colavecchio denied that time by Conway. It remains in the zone. Now it's Chaminade who gets it back. Chaminade Flyers driving in, missing that chance was DeMonica. Now DeMonica gets back to Barnes. St. Anthony's trying to push this out as they'll head to the final period, facing a difficult challenge for these next 15 minutes. Down by 4 as Chaminade is only 15 minutes away from advancing to the championship game. And both teams will head off to the locker room for a brief but lengthy intermission. The ice cut will take place while we step aside. Zamboni making his appearance on the ice. Chaminade leads 5-1. You're watching the semifinals of the Catholic High School Hockey Varsity game on LI Sports Network.
Man, that was like a perfect countdown.
The referees have made their way back out onto the ice, and so have the players of the Chaminade Friars. Now we wait for St. Anthony's Friars to make their way outside of their locker room. We had a moment, we had some time to reflect and ponder on what we saw in these first 30 minutes of play. And one thing we noticed during intermission was the St. Anthony's Friars strategizing along the glass. And we'll see what that strategy will bring as they find themselves facing a four-goal deficit, while also towing the line of letting their emotions go, which is one thing that I talked about with head coach Ed Smith before this game today of the Chaminade Friars. This was one game that they've been always looking forward to. The long-standing history between both rivals, Chaminade, St. Anthony's. The games are always physical, emotionally filled, and the players are always amped up and excited to participate in it. And as I mentioned, emotionally filled. There's going to be moments where the battles are going to escalate into scrums, big hits, and your emotions will be tested. And that was the one thing Ed Smith was emphasizing on when I talked to him before the game today. It was for this game, the winning strategy for today was going to be based on controlling emotions and trying to not get caught up in the rivalry atmosphere. And right now, St. Anthony's is instilling what Chaminade is trying to ultimately avoid, and which is losing sight of the big picture. Yes, you're down by 4, and it is a frustrating position to be in at the moment, but you've got 15 minutes of hockey. You have all the time needed on your side to climb back from this hole and change the narrative. So we'll see if that championship mentality is instilled by head coach Robert Lund and his championship winning team, who trail by 4 to kick off the third and final period of play. And it begins with some destruction down low. Connor Constable driving his opponent in the end boards. And one player actually lost or broke their stick, it seemed like, as that one had to be pushed. That thing that's laying on the ice out in the open by the goal had to be pushed aside by Berhardt. Meanwhile, Chaminade is attempting to wheel and deal, as they've done all day, powered by that man Brian Weisler. Here come the Friars. Cata muscled off right there by Calabrese. Gavin Cata, Michael Calabrese quarreling right there in the corner, as the emotions are starting to rise ever so slightly. Chaminade, another try, and another stop is made by Berhardt. Tie up on the draw that time leads to St. Anthony's flipping it back into Chaminade's territory for icing. And we'll have a redo. This time, Chaminade is able to get it into the end boards as St. Anthony's tries to push this one out of the zone. That one almost got redirected home right there in front by the man with 2 goals for the Flyers today, Hedquist. Hedquist almost spinning back to his forehand and getting that one to go down low. Hedquist still on the hunt as St. Anthony's tries to escape the other way, but it's Chaminade who is looking to set up another opportunity. And Hedquist is down low, but not for long. Constable couldn't dance his way through the pressure right there. But he's not giving up, and he gets back to come up with the steal with Lucas Lee resetting for Chaminade. Lee with Guglielmo on the back end. And here's Brian Weisler again. Weisler, toe drag maneuver as he tried to meander around Rowan to no avail. And it was almost an unbelievable effort succeeding for Weisler. We saw what he can do when he has the puck on his stick. That came into inception back in the first. And he set up Constable for the first goal, and that one almost got put home right there, but it got spun wide. Hard hit thrown against the glass as the battle continues now in the neutral zone. With Chaminade motoring back into familiar territory, and the hits keep on coming between both squads. Brady Monteleone was knocked hard to the ice, and he's down face first. And now the attention has been turned to the St. Anthony's Friars star forward, Brady Monteleone, will now be attended to, or looked like he was going to be attended to by the head trainer, head coach. And he gets off the ice under his own power and heads to the locker room. And we'll get a status update on him after that little sequence. Shout out to Keniak Park Ice Arena director Mark Lamar for always being a awesome host and letting us stream these games right here at this very beautiful facility. Fortunately for us, it's got heaters, and unfortunately for the Flyers, they're going to the penalty box, and it's Patrick Mavrakis who committed the penalty for Chaminade this time, which will put St. Anthony's back on the man advantage. First clear made by Chaminade as Patrick Rowan will recollect it, or attempt to recollect it, as he's being hounded down by Justin Wasserman. Now Rowan finds himself in some difficulty down low against Constable. Now it's Rowan with a little more space this time as he enters the zone. trying to finagle his way to the goal as St. Anthony's attempts to set up some magic here on the power play. Rowan fakes the drive, gets it over to DeAndrea with the chance on them, missing that. Rebound couldn't be carried back in front as everyone begins to joust behind the goal. Now Kata lays it back onto the stick of Rowan. Rowan is able to knife it back onto the stick of Kata. Kata down low. DeAndrea, short side try, wouldn't go that time as Conway was able to close the gap. Another chance, and another stop that gets redirected out of play is made by Chaminade. So good news for St. Anthony's. Brady Monteleone has returned to the bench after spending a few minutes in the locker room after being on the receiving end of a heavy check a few moments ago. That happened right before St. Anthony's got his latest power play opportunity. But unfortunately for the Friars, they're finding themselves with time winding down ever so slightly on this latest man advantage. Kata. DeAndrea. Trying to navigate away from the pressure, and it results in a clear again for Chaminade. Almost a heavy collision in the neutral zone as St. Anthony's gets a hold of the puck, and we skate 5 aside once again. Patrick Rowan retreating as it looked like he was going to pedal forward. And now he'll just send it in deep off the blocker of Conway. Back in front, that one couldn't be punched home that time by the Friars. Monteleone stumbling, trying to get a hold of the puck. He inadvertently made contact with Gavin Kata, and there's a chance the other way for Chaminade that gets nullified by Berhardt. Frustration continuing for St. Anthony's, but Ryan Berhardt is doing everything he can to ignore that thought. DeAndrea on that rebound, and it couldn't be put home that time by the Friars. Monteleone, who had the golden opportunity on the wide wing. Brian Weisler taking it back in, slamming on the brakes as he ran out of room to get towards the goal. Sends it across, but he couldn't lay it perfectly on the stick of Urcioli. And the hits continue. They keep banging away here in the third period amongst these two squads. John Trum trying to lay it forward. St. Anthony's gets a hold of the possession, and a major collision happens in the neutral zone, or in the Chaminade zone, just as the Friars were pushing through the neutral zone. And it doesn't appear there will be any ramifications out of this little dust-up. So no harm, no foul. And we continue this game with 5 aside. But that's going to end abruptly due to the high stick infraction. The high sticking infraction by Gavin Kata. Chaminade entering this third period. 2-4-3 on the man advantage. And there's a man who's created the most noise for their power play units, back out on the ice, trying to do the unthinkable, which is completing a power play hat trick. That's right. Score! Special teams unit strikes for the Friars. Jack DeLugos. So a bad misplay by Patrick Conway at the side of the goal has given the Friars some new life with under 10 minutes to play here in the third period. And surprisingly enough, it's their special teams unit that gets the job done right there. With a minute and a half still remaining on the man advantage, Gavin Cotta in the box for committing the penalty, and no penalty is called here against the Friars, or against the Flyers. And Brian Weisler collides hard with Ryan Burhart, and the Friars are looking to respond on his behalf. And now the attention has been turned on the St. Anthony's netminder, who is ailing in pain with his helmet off, and this will result in a penalty against Chaminade's Brian Weisler, as he drove in way too hard towards Ryan Burhart, and that was the results. And we'll see if the aftermath will bring some positive results to the Friars power play units, as Ryan Burhart, who had a memorable season in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League, winning the championship and winning the playoffs MVP award, is being attended to and having a discussion with the Friars coaching staff. Doesn't seem like he'll be exiting this contest, however, so some good news for the Friars, as Ryan Burhart pulls down his mask, and St. Anthony's will begin this next resumption of play with some 4-on-4 hockey with their bitter counterparts. 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute and 15 seconds before it becomes a St. Anthony's power play all over again. Guglielmo on the ice as Mavrakis plunges into the corner boards while trying to break free from Rowan, as Patrick Rowan is able to spin away from the pressure before getting onto the stick of that man, Monteleone. Brady Monteleone, backhand try, just misses for him. Brady Monteleone crushes Lucas Lee, but there will be a penalty going here against Monteleone, and maybe some more. And just like that, it's Chaminade versus St. Anthony's. Offsetting penalties for the two combatants. And what seemed like it was going to be a clean 4-on-4 hockey sequence after Brady Monteleone threw the thunderous check. Results in this. Monteleone, after throwing the check, surprisingly continued to show frustration against Lee, and Lucas Lee lost his cool and returned the favor down low, and that's how we've gotten to this point. Both schools with two teams, both schools with two players in the box. Right now, the lengthy discussion brewing between the head official and St. Anthony's Brady Monteleone as we await for the final verdicts here. At the moment, Lucas Lee's number has yet to shown on the big scoreboard. Only Brady Monteleone's 2 minutes, for which will be for roughing, has appeared on the board. As we await for things to be restored here, or await for order to be restored here. And this will give both teams some time to strategize, and now we have both officials coming over to St. Anthony's bench, discussing with head coach Robert Lund on the official penalty ruling. And so what we are being told is that this will be a 4-on-3 for Chaminade, just by clear indication of the extra St. Anthony's player that just joined the penalty box. And 4-on-3 hockey begins with a close call against Ryan Berhardt. Six minutes of play left to go in what has turned out to be a feisty affair here in the third period. In a game that has been heavily dominated by Chaminade all throughout this contest. This one couldn't be led across. Hedquist having the momentum so far, and we'll have another penalty here as Chaminade will match St. Anthony's number when it comes to jerseys in the penalty box, with Dominic Idavai heading to the sin bin for the latest infraction. And now we have a discussion between the head official and the St. Anthony's players. An instant clear for Chaminade, And they'll get Brian Weisler back in the action as he comes out of the penalty box after a heavy collision with Ryan Burhart that almost knocked the Friars netminder out of this contest. Two-on-one chance maybe for Chaminade. Went across, but it couldn't be finished strong by Weisler. Weisler not giving up in the battle against Kata. Guglielmo. And out comes Brady Monteleone. Or pardon me, Nicholas. Or pardon me, that's Michael Terry, who is sitting on behalf of Brady Monteleone, who received more than just the 2-minute penalty. He got an additional 10-minute misconduct for the events that transpired in Chaminade's zone. Just under a minute left remaining on the Chaminade penalty against Idavai as St. Anthony's controls it in their own zone, and they'll work their way back into familiar territory. DeLugos leading the charge. He's muscled into the end boards right there by Trum, and now DeAndrea tries to stuff it home to no avail as Chaminade escapes out of the zone. Trying to receive that one off the boards cleanly was Smith, and he almost got it taken away from him. Now Chaminade gets it back. Brian Weisler almost dancing around everyone. And Jack DeLugos couldn't get to the goal right there with a shot opportunity. So 3.5 to go here in the third. We'll see if head coach Robert Lund decides to bring Ryan Burhart to the bench to make this a 6-on-5 hockey game, but at the moment with what the score shows, it doesn't appear that will be the case. But stranger things have happened this year, or these last couple of years, so we could be seeing a few surprises in these last 3 minutes of play. This one is sent wildly wide. Another chance back in front, and that one couldn't be punched home right there. Drive from the point, and that one was stopped by Burhart. Rebound, another chance at the top, and it couldn't be put home by Guglielmo, who's knocked down to the ice. Tie up inside the zone, and getting a hold of it is Federico. Federico tried to swing one in front. No one was home to put it home. Another chance. That one misfired for Wendolfi. And this one hops back over to the other side where Gavin Kata will try to pick up some steam and push out of the zone. Kata played in Chaminade's territory where Chaminade will pick it up back in the Friars zone. Chaminade with another chance. That one was nullified. And it was Hedquist who was in pursuit of the hat trick once again. Hedquist heading to the bench just as it seemed like he was going to get the feed. But it will not cause any damage, and look out there. Connor Squarey very uncharacteristic play. As someone who's gotten a lot of offensive opportunities this game, got a little too aggressive there, throwing the body against Dominic Castiglione. Monteleone. Tosses it back into the Flyers, who then return the favor by sending this one back into the end boards, where it's Murray. Got muscled into the boards. Murray taken down. Nothing comes out of it as St. Anthony's will push the other way. Smith got shouldered off the puck right there by Mavrakis as Monteleone sends that one wide of the net. St. Anthony's remaining put in the zone for the final 50 seconds of play. Well, one thing we do know for sure is that this year's Suffolk County High School Hockey League champions will not be advancing to Monday night's Catholic Varsity Championship, just by clear indication of the scoreboard and the time remaining in this period. However, they do have a shot at winning the New York State High School Hockey Championship, which will have the luxury of covering all weekend, beginning on Friday, right here on the LI Sports Network. Ryan Burhart's one last save as the Chaminade Flyers soar on to the finals. Patrick Conway gets the win as head coach Ed Smith's squad celebrates a hard-fought victory and a dominating performance, beating the Friars 5-2 here today to cap off this thrilling battle and the latest chapter of the St. Anthony's Chaminade rivalry. So congratulations to Coach Ed Smith and the Flyers, who will head on to the championship game Monday night at Dix Hills Ice Rink. And for the rest of us, along with the St. Anthony's Friars, we'll be hitting the road up to Saugerties for 3 days of glorious hockey upstate in the cold stretches of New York. So that does it here for all of us at the LI Sports Network. Mike Calandra, Vinny Matula, Nick Quinn, Mike Brown, the president. We say so long, good night. If you're here at this rink, get home safe, and we'll see you soon, Friday, right here on the LI Sports Network. Goodbye, everyone.